Well, Deb Murphy filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. Ray Bencoma has entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity to felony charges, including assault on an officer. His trial date has been set for April 10th in Independence. This is according to an email from Inyo County District Attorney Tom Hardy. Now, according to Hardy, Bencoma will first be tried on specific charges. The email states, if the jury finds that the defendant is guilty of any of the charges, the jury will then be presented with evidence regarding his sanity, end quote. Hardy goes on to say that the state of the plea places the burden of proof on the defendant to show by a preponderance of the evidence that he was incapable of knowing or understanding the nature and quality of his act and distinguishing right from wrong at the time of the commission of the offense, end quote. Now, Bencoma has already been found competent to stand trial. The distinction, according to DA Hardy, competency to stand trial is based on whether a defendant understands the nature of the charges, the nature of the legal proceedings, and whether he can cooperate with his attorney in preparing a defense. Now, in addition to the assault on an officer charge, Bencoma was arraigned in late September on a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition, possession of stolen property, and corporal injury to a significant other. The charges stem from an incident in the early morning of August 26, 2016, when an Inyo County Sheriff's deputy was flagged down by a female alleging she was the victim of domestic violence. Inyo County Sheriff's Department report stated that Bencoma, quote, appeared from behind an outbuilding and pointed a semi-automatic weapon at the deputy, end quote. Now, the deputy fired, hitting Bencoma. Bencoma was transported to Northern Inyo Hospital, then transported to a hospital in Reno. Again, we thank Deb Murphy for that report. Well, at the request of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, that's Cal OES, the Mammoth Lakes Town Council will be approving a new emergency declaration for the February set of storms. This is set for the Mammoth Lakes Town Council meeting coming up this Wednesday, March 1st. Now, the Mammoth Lakes Town Council had previously declared a state of emergency on February 1st for the snow and related damage that occurred as a result of the storms in January. The emergency declaration allows the town of Mammoth Lakes to procure resources that may be needed to assist with damage and also to collect reimbursement for costs that are incurred this winter as a result of dealing with the significant snowfall and the rain that has been received. Town of Mammoth Lakes will be documenting damage for the next several months as it is discovered as the snow melts. If the public notices damage to public right-of-ways or facilities, you're asked to notify the town's engineering department. That phone number is 760-965-3650. Now, additionally, the town of Mammoth Lakes is working to collect information about damage to private property. If your property experienced physical damage or your business suffered substantial economic losses, again, contact the town at 760-965-3632. And we'll note that the American Red Cross shelter at Mammoth High School closed last Wednesday. Now, since that temporary shelter was open, Mono County Social Services and the Red Cross provided 22 overnight stays at the shelter. Assistance will continue to be provided for residents with storm recovery resources on a case-by-case basis, as well as future storm response by the Mono County Social Services, the American Red Cross, AMACA, Inyo Mono, Advocates for Community Action, as well as the town of Mammoth Lakes. Those full press releases are posted on our website, sierrawave.net. Getting information from a press release from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, noting that during the Inyo County Los Angeles Standing Committee meeting last Wednesday, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power announced plans to maximize the spread of water in the Owens Valley this year. Press release notes to levels not seen since the wettest year on record, 1983-84. Now, the above average snowpack levels registering north of 200% of normal to date, expected to provide ample water supply for both the Eastern Sierra and the LA Aqueduct. Runoff calculations from the eastern Sierra are anticipated to be in the range of 900 to 1 million acre feet of water. Now, due to the ample water supply, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power press release notes will be meeting all water needs throughout Long Valley and Inyo County. Spread of this water is expected to improve local vegetation and groundwater levels, representing a significant recharge of the Owens Valley aquifer. Now, the press release notes, given the abundance of water, LADWP will conduct no discretionary pumping in the region, only necessary pumping for town water systems and enhancement and mitigation projects, which always operate using groundwater, such as fish hatchery and pasture irrigation. Now, said James Yanada, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power LA Aqueduct manager. Yanada said, quote, "To date this winter, we've spread 8,000 acre feet of water in the Owens Valley, and we expect to spread a lot more. We anticipate matching, if not exceeding, the amount of spread during our wettest recorded winter," end quote. Wet winter is also expected to assist ranch lessees who will receive at least a full allotment of water this year. And the press release notes that's a much welcome reprieve from the past 5 consecutive years of drought. In all, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power expects to release water to Long Valley and throughout the Owens Valley and Laws, Bishop, Big Pine, Independence, and areas further south. Also, in the standing committee meeting, the parties from both Inyo County and Los Angeles agreed to formally adopt revisions to the vegetation monitoring protocols outlined in the Green Book. The adoption of these revisions represents the end of a monitoring discrepancy that has been in place since 2005. Now, that full press release also posted on SierraWave.net, as is an opinion piece by Daniel Pritchett, which begins at the February 9th, 2017 technical group meeting. Inyo County Water Department Director Bob Harrington voted to approve DWP's pre-construction plan for new wells on the Bishop Cone, and Pritchett notes was roundly booed for his efforts. Afterward, he was quoted as saying, "There seems to be a misconception that the county is in favor of putting in these new wells." That was from an Inyo Register story on February 11th. Daniel Pritchett writes, quote, "The public can hardly be blamed for its misconception. If approving flawed pre-construction plans is how the county manifests its opposition to the wells, one can only wonder what the county would have done if had it supported construction of the wells," end quote. That full opinion piece by Daniel Pritchett is posted on SierraWave.net. We'll be back with more news.